What's up everybody? It's time for another one of those crazy Jubagel videos where I do way too much work, way too much data entry and collecting data, and it's never worth it, and I want to cry at the end. Yay! So today we're going to go, I know we did the R5 video, we did 1,000 runs of R5, and we showed what we got at the end of those. I'm going to use some of that data because now we're going to compare R4 versus R5. I'm still using the data from R5 on the right. I didn't redo all the data from R5. I just took that data that we had, and then I'm comparing it to the newly collected data from R4. So we did a crap ton of runs, and we're gonna see, because I've always been curious, maybe some of you guys have too, how much better R4, because we know R5 is better, right? Rift of Worlds R5. The raids R5. We know 5 is better, but we don't know how much better 5 really is, if it's really gonna do a dramatic, oh my god, drastic, huge difference if you're rating R4 versus R5, because R4 runs are generally faster than R5 runs, and more reliable. It's easier for people to do them. I really don't ever suggest doing R1 or R2 at all. It's just really not worth it. You're better off just grinding giants and dragons for better runes instead of like wasting your time upgrading like 1% of one rune. Like, ooh, who wants to do that? That's 1%. That's not worth your time to upgrade. It's really, like the gray runes, not the gray runes, the gray gems, the gray grindstones. Really not worth it. Don't even bother with R1 or R2, really. I'm really. And if you don't have all 6-star monsters, you shouldn't be in Rift of Worlds anyway, right? If you're using 5-star monsters, you're not ready for Rift of Worlds yet. All right, so I'm gonna preface it with that. So let's go take a look at, ow, I hit myself in the not ear. It's not even my ear, it doesn't matter. Let's take a look at first I want to thank the people on my friends list. My friends list in my guild, Third Kingdom, and the people in Epic Fail that helped us as well. Those Epic Fail guys, I don't know why, we're like friends with a lot of them. Anyway, so thank you guys for helping me collect the data and running raids with me. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's take a look at R4 versus R5. So we see, legendary's crap either way, but we see a big difference in the fact that this meant like crazy amounts of runs for days. We got 2 legendary out of R4. Wow. Okay. Not really that great. Versus the 15 out of R5. Definitely a big difference. If you're going for legendary grinds, there's no reason to step foot into R4, right? If hero is okay with you, that's actually, there is a noticeable difference, but it's not like heroes aren't dropping out of R4. We're still getting some rares. Rares aren't even bad sometimes. If a rare rolls good, then it's like almost as good as a hero. It's really not too much of a difference. Like, bad hero roll equals good rare roll, right? Because it does have a range of what it will roll. So it's not that bad. I've seen I got some rare rolls today that were actually better than some of the hero rolls that I got. So, like if it rolls speed, but if it's in an enchant gem and it rolls speed like that, the max on a rare is still going to be better than the minimum on a hero. So, it's just could wind up being better for you. But yeah, it's not super crazy. We're not seeing any green or any white ones. So there's none of those. None of those at all dropped. They're not available from Rift of Worlds R4. So, it's really not that insane of a, it really depends on your like what your standards are. How's that? It really depends on what your standards are. If this is acceptable to you, or if you must have this, because definitely R5 is gonna be better, but if you must have this, then if you must go for legendaries, then don't even worry about R4 because it's not even worth it. But if heroes are good for you, then if heroes are acceptable for you, then there you go. Alright, let's go on to the next chart. The next chart. Which one do I want to do next? Not that one. Not that one. Where are you? Where is it? I lost it. Okay. Here we go. Here's the next chart. So this is... What is this? This is what they were. So we see, like, okay, the grindstones, the enchant gems, speed, flat attack, attack percentage, flat defense, pretty pretty much the same. It looks really, really close. The reason we're not seeing crit damage, crit rate, accuracy, resistance, for people that didn't see the first video, the reason we're not seeing too many of those, because there's no grindstones for them, right? They're capable stats, they only get enchant gems, right? They cap, I mean, they're not capable stats. 3 of them are, crit damage is not capable, but it doesn't have, and that's curious too, like why doesn't crit damage have grindstones? I mean, like I understand why crit rate doesn't, because then that'd be way too strong, right? Accuracy, resistance, way too strong, but I feel like crit damage and attack are very similar. I'm not sure what, like I feel like they should have some grindstones. Just my personal opinion. I mean, that's a personal opinion though, so that's really not data. So we're seeing from R4 HP percentage, okay. I mean, really, it's the same. We see a little bit more flat defense from R5. Yay! Flat defense here. We see a little bit more defense percentage. That's just, I think that's just randomness kicking in. I don't think it's necessarily has anything to do with it. It's basically very, very similar. You're getting the same stuff either way. Not that we really want the flat defense, and flat attack, but there we go. There we go for those. So really, as far as like what you're actually getting like grindstones of, it's really nothing too different. All right, so let's see. What's the next one? What's the next one? The next one is, okay, so this is what the drops consisted of. So most of those are grindstones, very similar. I mean, you're getting the same percentage of grindstones whether you do 4 or 5, almost the same thing, right? It seems like there was a little bit more. It could just be random deviation, right? It could just be, like, it's not like a huge difference. So we saw 90 enchant gems from R4, and we saw like 112. Maybe there might be a slight buff to enchant gems in R5, just because Comtrust feels that they're more valuable. Maybe they should drop more in R5. It's too, I mean, I know we did a crap ton of runs, but still, it's too close to really call either way. Mana, there's a little bit more in R4 than R5, but again, too close to call either way, really. Rainbow Mon, 48 out of R4, 60 out of R5. Can you guys see? Oh, I kind of cut off the things a little bit, didn't I, in this scene? But you guys can still see what it is. I didn't realize I did that. Okay. And then we see Mystical Scrolls actually was interesting. 14 in R4, 7 in R5. Out of that many runs, 7. And we saw 14. And I guess can't see. Hold on. Oh, I can't make that any smaller, can I? Okay. Anyway. We got 14 Mystical Scrolls in one. We got 7 in the other. And then I'll tell you guys the rest. Shapeshifting Stones, we got 12 from R4. We got 14 from R5. I mean, Shapeshifting Stone drops, right? So it's basically the same thing. Basically, 2 difference is really not a difference, right? It's such a small number. Summoning Stones, 24 drops of Summoning Stones in R4 versus 10 drops of Summoning Stones in R5. That's a little bit more of a difference. That's a little bit noticeable of a difference. That Mystical Scrolls were double, Summoning Stones were double, roughly double. And Rainbow Mons were a little bit less, Rainbow Mons were a little bit less in R4, and Enchant Gems were a little bit less in R4. I mean, I'm curious. It is kind of curious that some of those were a little bit double. So I'm not sure, but it's roughly the same either way. All right. So what's the next? The next and final chart. The next and final chart. Spoilers. Well, it's not spoilers. We're at the end of the video almost. It's really mostly the same. The only chart was the first one, just the percentage rates of everything. This one is mostly we're seeing like, okay, it's roughly the same drop chance of getting everything. There were some weird numbers though. There was like Despair 56. We got 56 drops from R4 Despair. We got 16 of Tolerance. Good, because I don't have any Tolerance runes. I got a lot of Despair runes, so that's good. But it was just weird. I'm wondering if that has to do with the time of day. Maybe we did things at different times of day. That could, because look how many Enhance and Despair we got from R4. I don't think it's R4. I think it, again, this is my opinion. I don't have any facts to actually back this statement up, but it feels like we get more of a certain thing at different times of day. That's just my opinion. time gate, whatever. We all have these time gate conspiracy theories, but it could be that there were different times of day that this data is kind of skewed. But I mean, it's so simple. We're not seeing like any huge drastic things. It's kind of huge that we got so many more, like triple the amount of enhance and despair. I feel like that's a time of day thing, but that's not a fact that I'm saying. I'm not stating a fact that it's a time of day thing. that's my feelings. That's the womanly intuition that I get. All right, so that's that on those the type of things that we got. So again, we'll finish it off with the first one. This is really the meat and potatoes of this video. I wanted to show, I figure I may as well show you guys the rest of the data because I collected it, so why not? There's no problem collecting extra data, right? If you don't collect enough, that's a problem. But if you collect extra, then you could use it, you could toss it, like whatever. You could just ignore it. But this is really the meat and potatoes of what you guys, I'm sure, want to know, is the percentages of rare drops to hero drops to legendary drops, and oh my god, the legendary is almost non-existent. I always felt like it was more than this. I always felt that like they were a little bit closer. I also felt like they should have been a little bit higher, but I guess not. But legendary is almost non-existent in R4, so that's good to know. I think that's the one thing to take away from this video is if you're happy with heroes, if you're happy with hero level grindstones, then R4 is fine. If you need legendaries, then don't do R4 at all. So, I know a bunch of people are gonna be like, oh, Jubagel, we already knew that, duh. But here's the data, here's the pie charts so that you guys can see for yourself, so that you're already knowing that is confirmed by me as well, by the numbers as well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this is one of those things where like, I collect data for days and then make an 11-minute video. Yes! Oh my god, so worth it. But hopefully you guys appreciate it at least. And get some use out of it. I gotta stop doing these. These take way too long to collect information for. But that's it. I'll see you guys later and hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.